In this computer-type world, understanding Bitcoin and the rise of cryptocurrency will be the subject of today's talk by Dan Schwatz. He will take you through the history of the Bitcoin cryptocurrency, sharing the whys and the hows, and most importantly, understanding what is about to happen. Cryptocurrency. What happens when there's no money? No, we'll have to use our plastic later. Okay. Dan has been involved in the world of cryptocurrency for the past 3 years, going from the complete newbie to almost expert and speaking about the subject to groups both large and small. Dan runs a company called 3T Networks. As part of their offerings, they teach people all about cryptocurrencies and how to grow and protect their wealth. So please give a warm welcome to today's speaker, Dan Schwatz.
Thank you very much, Dan. I started getting involved with cryptocurrencies, I want to say, coming up on 3.5 years. And someone said, oh, you need to get into this. And that was like when Bitcoin was 300 bucks. I didn't put as much as I should have, or if I had put a lot of money in Bitcoin, even at $300, I would probably be sitting on the beach retired. But I'll show you some interesting things in the presentation. But that was my first introduction to Bitcoin and Bitcoin mining and things like that. So it's still the beginning of the cryptocurrency age. We'll get into that in a minute. So even if you feel like, oh, I just heard about this Bitcoin thing yesterday, you know, I missed the boat on all this. Well, not really. It's been argued that all the big money has already been made on Bitcoin by itself, the Bitcoin. Because if you look, I don't know how many people know what the price of Bitcoin is approximately. Okay, so approximately 11,000 US dollars is the current price, ballpark. I was just doing a quick look, you know, on coinmarketcap.com, and there's 400 trading pairs that they track, and that's how they come up with whatever the current price that they display. It's just a weighted average of all of them. But actually, the only price that matters is the price that you can buy or sell at personally, based on where you are, where you have an account, where your bank is connected to whichever place. I mean, it's really nice to know in Zimbabwe, Bitcoin costs $17,000 right now. However, none of us, I think, have the ability to get our Bitcoin into Zimbabwe, collect 17,000-ish US dollars for our Bitcoin, and repatriate the money somewhere, so it doesn't matter. So we'll cover that in a second. But the point is, Bitcoin at 11 grand, if it goes to 100,000 bucks, which is what the pundits say will happen next year most likely, that's 9 times your money. Still pretty good. I don't know any other investments out there or speculatory investments that people are going to get 9 times your money in a year, and all these bigwig guys are saying it's not just some obscure little thing. But there's way better opportunities for people who are learning and who want to make money in the cryptocurrency space, because they start at a much lower level. However, you also have to watch out, because there's lots of bad deals out there. There's lots of things that are not what they say they're going to be. So, okay, so a little bit about my background. I've been in technology, sales, marketing, business development, sales, writing, investing for a long time. Let's see, how many years is it? No, we don't need to go there. Something like 35 years or something. Yeah, it's 35 years. But I've been in the cryptocurrency space for the last 3.5. Like I said, when I first found out about it. So let's go in. Okay, how many people remember this movie? What's it called? The Graduate, right? And this is a speech from the party that I thought was quite appropriate. Hopefully this will work.
What are you going to do now?
I was going to go upstairs for a minute.
Oh, but I mean with your future. You're lying.
Well, that's a little hard to say. Ben. Excuse me. Mr. McGuire.
Ben.
Mr. McGuire.
Come away from that. I want to talk to you. Excuse us, Joanne. Thanks.
Yes, sir.
Plastics.
Exactly how do you mean?
There's a great future in plastics. Think about it. What do you think about it?
Yes, sir.
Enough said. That's a deal.
Okay, so this was in 1967. So if this clip was done in a movie now, it would probably say cryptocurrency or blockchain. So I'll explain what some of these things are, because this is more than about Bitcoin, as you'll see in a minute. So this is kind of one of the best books out there. It's kind of an intro book that anybody who wants to know what's going on, written by the tax gods, called Blockchain Revolution. Talks about the history and hows and the whys and the details. It's pretty thick. It's not the simplest of reads, but it's a very good book that discusses the whole concept of what's Bitcoin, where did it come from, and it would be useful to read for anybody. It should be in your library if you're interested in this. So, what this says is the technology that's going to have the greatest impact going forward is the blockchain. Notice it doesn't say Bitcoin, right? It doesn't say Bitcoin. Bitcoin is one thing, and the blockchain is something else, and I'll cover what it is. But the key, and you'll see a clip from someone who's ex-JP Morgan, which I kind of find kind of interesting because the CEO of JP Morgan's not a fan of Bitcoin, Jamie Dimon. But the point is, blockchain is the revolutionary part. Bitcoin happens to be the earliest coin built that is built on top of the blockchain. But the blockchain is the key. So yeah, this is Life Masters. She explains what is the blockchain. She used to manage $3.5 billion of investments, so she has a pretty good idea.
A blockchain is nothing much more than a fancy kind of database. And as you know, databases have been around for a long time. You will use them every day to varying degrees of effect, and there's a lot of use of them going on behind the scenes that you don't feel in a first-hand or personal manner, but certainly generally help your lives get organized directly or indirectly in many different ways. This is a technology that enables institutions to do what they do already today using databases, but a lot quicker, a lot cheaper, with far lower error rates, with less resulting risk, and as a result, with lower capital requirements and less vulnerability to cyber attack. That's a pretty long list of positive attributes. If you or I could agree, instead of keeping our separate records, to share the same record from inception, where when executed, the point at which that transaction is ready for a commission to settlement in the system of record, we are sharing one jointly agreed, signed by both of us, authorized by both of us, transaction. We are eradicating that need for post-trade reconciliation and settlement process that is lengthy, time-consuming, and expensive. That, in short, is the simplest way to think about the use of a distributed ledger or a blockchain-type database.
Okay, so the thing she's talking about is keeping it simple. Blockchain is just another kind of database. That's all it is, but it's got some special features. It's immutable, which means it's not changeable. Secondly, because of that and the fact that every transaction is visible to everybody in the network. How many people think Bitcoin is totally anonymous? Oh, you've been reading. It's not anonymous. You personally are not identified in the transaction, but if I'm going to send Patrick some Bitcoin, Patrick's going to say, Dan, send Bitcoin to this address. And he gives me this big, long address, I don't know, 30-something characters long, that you cut and paste. Don't ever try and type because you screwed up and you send it to the wrong address. Bye-bye Bitcoin. But now I know that's Patrick's Bitcoin address. Unless he's using something that changes his address every time, which is what some of the wallet providers do now. Every time you ask a request, it'll still go to your main wallet, but your actual address changes every time. I could just go look up his address on the blockchain, and I can see, oh, Patrick, he has 4,237 Bitcoin in that account. You can see it. So it's anonymous in the sense until he gives away his address. I don't know it's his, but it's totally public. Well, what this allows, what she was talking